जय जगद्रमणी जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरुदेव की जय भागवत महावृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय हरे कृष्ण Hare Krishna everyone. Please welcome to this morning session of Srimad Bhagavad. Please bless me so that I can deliver correct message of Srila Prabhupada, and also please guide me and correct me if I go anything wrong. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa sindhubhya eva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. So we'll start the session with Prabhupada Leelamrita. I'm going to share the screen now. Hope you are able to see the screen.
Yes, Mataji, you can see that. Fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We are reading chapter 32, the India Dancing White Elephants, page number 86. Radio stations and newspapers took note of the Western devotees chanting in the city. One article appeared in the October 10th edition of the Times of India. A group of Americans, including women with babies in arms, belonging to the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, has been moving around Bombay during the past few days, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, to accompaniment of cymbals, castanets, and drums, mridanga. Can the materialistic West, or at any rate a microscopic part of it, have turned at last to embrace the spiritualism of East? I met several of Kirtan chanting Americans who have come here to attend the 7th All India Conference at the Bharat Sadhu Samaj, which begins here today, and was at once struck by their sincerity and utter surrender to the cult they have adopted. The Vaishnavas of Madura could not be so guileless, I thought, as this band of bhakti enthusiasts. The sand of Chowpatty Beach was fine and clean. The audience numbered in the thousands. Sadhus sat on stage, Prabhupada and his followers among them. It was twilight. The sky above the Arabian Sea was cloudy, and a pleasant breeze was stirring. There had already been 2 lectures expounding the Mayavada philosophy, and now it was time for Prabhupada to speak, the last scheduled speaker of the evening. The audience was eager to hear him. His accomplishments in the West had caused great curiosity, especially now that he had arrived in Bombay and his devotees were chanting daily in public. Prabhupada's disciples, bored and exasperated by the preceding 2 hours of Hindi oratory, could scarcely wait any longer for Prabhupada to speak. But Prabhupada, instead of addressing the audience, turned to his disciples and said, "Begin chanting." As soon as the devotees began the kirtana, little Saraswati stood and began to dance. Following her, the other devotees rose and began to dance. As the kirtana came alive with mridangas and kartalas, the dancing and the chanting of the devotees seemed to disturb some of the sadhus on stage, who rose one by one and left. The audience, however, responded enthusiastically, many of them standing and clapping. After 5 minutes of ecstatic kirtana, the devotees spontaneously jumped down onto the sand and headed toward the audience. Thousands in the crowd rose to their feet and began to move along with the devotees and dance backward and forward. Indians began crying in uncontrolled happiness, overwhelmed by the genuine Krishna Bhakti of these foreigners. Never before had such thing happened. Policemen and press reporters joined in the chanting and dancing. Chowpatty Beach was in an uproar of Hare Krishna Kirtana as Prabhupada and his disciples showed the potency of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtana movement. After about 10 minutes, the Kirtana ended, though a tumultuous unrest pervaded the talkative crowd. 15 minutes elapsed before all the people returned to their seats and the program could continue. The devotees had left the stage and taken their seats on the ground level, leaving Prabhupada alone on stage. Prabhupada's voice echoed over the public address system. Can I stop here, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, and chapter number 11. The chapter name is Jadabharat instructs King Raghuvana, and the verse number 2. Okay, I will share the screen. Can you see the screen, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, you can.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto 5, and chapter 11, and verse number 2. Thank you, Prabhuji. तथैव राजन् उरुगर्हमेधा वितानविद्योरुविजृम्भितेषु नावेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादा प्रायेण सुदोनु चकस्ति साधु नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय तथैव राजन् उरुगार्हमेधा वितानविद्योरुविजृम्भितेषु नावेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादा प्रयेण शुद्धोऽनुचकास्ति साधुः ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय तथैव राजन् उरुगार्हमेधा वितानविद्योरुविजृम्भितेषु नावेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादः प्रायेण शुद्धोऽनु चकास्ति साधुः. Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to recite? Please welcome.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम
Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji.
ततैव राजन् उरुग्रहमेध हरे भीताना विदुरु वृजम् अभिषु वृजम् वितिषु न वेदा वेदेषु हि तत्त्ववाद प्रायेण शुद्ध नु चक्षति साधु.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I am very good.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
तथैव राजनुरुगार्हमेध वितानविद्योरुविजृम्भितेषु न वेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादः प्रायेण शुद्धो नु चकास्ति साधुः. हरे कृष्ण माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavad Pranam.
तथैव राजानुरुगार्हमेध भीतानुविद्योरुविजृम्भितेषु न वेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादः प्रायेण शुद्धोऽनुचकास्ति साधुः. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I am also trying.
Dandavad Pranam, Mataji, please.
तथैव राजन् उरुगार्हमेध वितान् विद्याउरु विजृम्भितेषु न वेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादः प्रायेण शुद्धो नु चकास्ति साधुः. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavad Pranam, Mataji, please.
May I please?
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
तथैव राजन्नुरुघा गार्हमेधा वितान विद्युरो वृजम्भितेषु न वेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादा प्रायेण शुद्धो न चकास्ति साधु. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So much, Mataji. Anybody would like to synonyms?
May I, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Krishna. Tatha, therefore, eva, indeed, Rajan, O king, Urugaraha, Medha, rituals related to material household life. Vitana Vidya, in knowledge that expands. Uru, very greatly. Brijam Vitesu, among those interested. Na, not. Vedavadeshu, who speak the version of the Vedas. He, indeed. Tattvavadaha, the spiritual science. Prayena, almost always. Suddha, free from all contaminated activities. Nu, indeed. Chakasti, appear. Sadhu, a person who is advanced in devotional service. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody like to read translation and purpose?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, Hare Krishna. Mataji, please go ahead. Hare Krishna, Mataji, please go ahead. Okay, I will say then.
Yeah.
My dear king talks of the relationship between the master and the servant, the king and the subject, and so forth are simply talks about material activities. People interested in material activities which are expounded in the Vedas are intent on performing material sacrifices and placing faith in their material activities. For such people, spiritual advancement is definitely not manifested. Thank you. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah. Anybody would like to read purport? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In these words, two words are significant. Vedavada and Tattvavada. According to Bhagavad Gita, those who are simply attached to the Vedas and who do not understand the purpose of the Vedas or the Vedanta Sutra are called Vedavada Rata. Yam imam pupshitam vacham pravavanti abhipashita Vedavada Rata Partha Nanyad Astiti Badhina. काम आत्मन सर्गपरा जन्म कर्म फल प्रदम क्रिया विशेष बहुलम भोगाईश्वर गतिम प्राप्ति प्रति men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth, being these series of sense gratification and opulent life. They say there is nothing more than that. Bhagavad Gita 2.42 to 43. The Vedavada followers of the Vedas are generally inclined to Karmakanda, the performance of sacrifice according to the Vedic injunction. They are thereby promoted to the higher planetary system. They generally practice the Chaturmasha system. Akshayam Avui Chaturmasha Yagnam Shukritam Bhavati. One who performs the Chaturmasya Yagna becomes pious. By becoming pious, one may be promoted to the higher planetary system. Uddhavam Gachanti Satpastha. Some of the followers of the Vedas are attached to Karmakanda, the fruitive activities of the Vedas, in order to be promoted to the higher standard of life. Others argue that this is not the purpose of the Vedas. Tat etaiva karma jita lokashya shishyate evam evam ut punnarjita lokashiyate shishyate. In this world, someone may become very highly elevated by taking birth in an aristocratic family, by being well educated, beautiful and very rich. These are the gift of the pious activities enacted in the past life. However, this will be finished when the stock of pious activities is finished. If we become attached to the pious activities, we may get various worldly facilities in the next life and may take birth in the heavenly planets. But all these will be eventually finished. Shine punnamarta lokam vishanti. Bhagavad Gita 9:21. When the stock of pious activity is finished, once again, one again has to come to this Martaloka. According to the Vedic injunction, the performance of the pious activity is not really the objective of the Vedas. The objective of the Vedas is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Vedasya Sarvoir Aham Eva Veda. The objective of the Vedas is to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are the Vedavadis are not actually advanced in knowledge. Those who are the followers of Jnanakanda, that is Brahman understanding, are also not perfect. However, when one comes to the platform of Upasana and accept the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he becomes perfect. Aradhanam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param. In the Vedas, the worship of different demigods and the performance of sacrifice are certainly mentioned, but such worship is inferior because the worshippers do not know the ultimate goal is Vishnu. Nate vidu swarta gatim hi Vishnum. When one comes to the platform of Vishnu Aradhanam or Bhakti Yoga, one has attained the perfection of life. Otherwise, as indicated in Bhagavad Gita, one is not Tattvadi but Vedavadi, a blind follower of the Vedic injunction. A Vedavadi cannot be purified from the material contamination unless he becomes a Tattvadi, that is, one who knows Tattva, the absolute truth. Tattva is also experienced in three features: Brahmeti Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Shabdati. Even after coming to the platform of understanding Tattva, one must worship Bhagavan, Vishnu, and his expansion, or one is not yet perfect. Bahunam Janmanante Ante Jiv Jnanavan Mam Prapaddati. After many, many bars, one who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto Krishna. The conclusion is that unintelligent men with poor fund of knowledge cannot understand Bhagavan, Brahman, or Paramatma. But after studying the Vedas and attaining the understanding of the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is supposed to be on the platform of perfect knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. It's a big purport. So I'll read one more time
Very wonderful.
translation. My dear king, talks of the relationship between the master and the servant, the king and the subject, and so forth, are simply talks about material activities. People interested in material activities, which are expounded in the Vedas, are intent on performing material sacrifices and placing faith in their material activities. For such people, spiritual advancement is definitely not manifest. I stop the sharing. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we are discussing and we have been hearing about the pastimes of Bharat Maharaj in his three lives as a King Bharat, again as a Deer Bharat. Now we are discussing his pastimes as a Jada Bharat. And actually, he as a King Bharat, he was fallen down because of his attachment towards the deer. And he has taken the body of deer, but by the mercy of Lord, he was remembering what was his mistake, why he has fallen down. He doesn't want to commit the mistake again and again. He was so careful not to do that mistake again. And he was trying to aloof from the material entanglements. Even in the form of Jada, he has taken birth in the Brahminical family, and his father was trying to impart the Vedic knowledge into him. But he was pretending as if he was dumb, he was mad, He was foolish. So he doesn't want to take all. But internally, he was so self-realized, enlightened, and he was carrying the Lord inside the heart. And he was enlightened person. He knows what is actual reality, and he was trying to aloof from everything outside the world. And once it happened, the king of that kingdom, Rahugana, he was he was going, and some of the persons were carrying the palanquin. So one of the carrier was missing. So he asked to carry the palanquin of King Rahugana. So when he was carrying, he was making sure that he was not stepping on the ants. He was so compassionate. He's a Paradukkaduki actually. Because he was carrying the Lord inside, he was an enlightened person. He knows that the other living entities also parts and parcels of Lord. We should not hurt. So in this regard, he was taking care, and he was stepping when he was stopping when the ants are coming on the way. So during this time, the other carriers, they got disturbed. So it was maintaining the pace, harmony of the palanquin. So Lord also, King also got disturbed, and he started staging. So he was saying to Jadabharat, so you are alive, but you are like a dead body. Why you are behaving like this? And I am a master, and you are a servant. Do whatever I am saying, do properly. Otherwise, you are going to punish by me. I will punish you because I am a master. I am a king. So he was showing his kingly opulences, kingly position, and he was chastising Jadabharat. And when he was chastising like this, Jadabharat, he was kept quiet for some time. After that, he realized his duty to instruct, to make the king wisely. He was not following his religious principle properly. They're taking care of other living entities and respecting Brahmana, etc. So he just wanted to give is a nice instruction so that he will become nice king, nice Kshatriya. And he started that, yes, I am not a body, so I am a soul. The body is is supposed to do all these activities. I am a soul. Soul doesn't carry anything. In this way, he is telling to Rahugana that all the hunger, thirst, all these physical elements these are not belong to soul. These are activities of body. Soul will not suffer by these physical activities. And in this way, he started instructing. And also, the Rahugana, so again, he was putting his quotes, statements against the Jadabhara's instructions. He was saying that, yes, soul and body are together. When the body is suffering, the soul, it goes to soul also. Soul will also suffer. So it is not detached from the body. And he is also saying that the material positions like a master and king, so even though they are temporarily, as a king, they have to perform some duties. So to taking care of the kings. So how we forget those duties? So he was arguing in that way. He was putting forward that arguments in front of Jadabharat. And Jadabharat was saying, trying to say that, so this body is material, anyway it is going to die. So there is a beginning and there is an end also. That's why this the body is I am not body, I am a soul. Body will die one day. These are material things. Material changes takes place. And also he said these sufferings only for the soul. And Rahugana again said, just like if you mix milk and rice for the boil, eventually both they get cooked by fire. The fire, it get some effect on this both milk and rice. Eventually, they start cooking. In this way, both soul and body get attached together. Cannot be separate them. So in this regard, Jadabharat started giving some more instructions to make them realize all these facts. In yesterday's words, it was saying that you are speaking like a experienced person. So you are looking like an experienced person, but you are not talking like a experienced person. So in the um, Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, Krishna started his instruction to Arjuna. So by chastising like that, you are also learned person, but you are not speaking like that. So here also Jadabharat, he was instructing, you are a king, you are a kshatriya, you should be knowing all the religious principles, but you are not following that. You are talking like as if you don't know anything, an experienced person. So here in this, he was telling this all these relationships and master and servant, king and citizens, all these are material activities. They come under bodily platform. If you understand Vedas perfectly, what is the goal of what is the object of, don't talk like this. So these are come under bodily platform, temporary material activities. So in these words, Prabhupada explaining all these very detailedly, so elaborately explaining about the purpose of Vedas, what are the Vedas, how different people perceive the knowledge from Vedas. And today we are discussing so what scriptures say about Veda and what are the two types of Vedas and who can understand Vedas and who cannot understand Vedas. So these topics today we are going to discuss. First, we are discussing what scriptures saying about Vedas. So in this purport also Prabhupada saying that 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and 15th verse, Vedes sarvair ahameva vedya vedanta kridved eva chaha. So here Krishna is saying that I am the compiler of the Vedas. I am the knower of the Vedas. So it is, Vedas are coming from me. So I have given the Vedas. Even in the Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, first verse, Tene Brahma Adi Kavaye. So he imparted that knowledge to the first living entity, Brahma, by Lord Krishna. I has given that knowledge to Brahma also. So these knowledge, these Vedas are coming from me. And also, these are uh, in the Vedas, there are two parts, Uttara Mimamsa and Purva Mimamsa. In the Purva Mimamsa, they are elaborately explained about what are the purpose by taking the instructions from the Vedas, what benefits they get. So they mainly explained in the Purva Mimamsa about Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. What is your religiosity and how you have to maintain. So how you get benefits, what is the Artha, how you earn and how you enjoy. And if you have a time and if you have an interest, you can know about the liberation also. So these parts are explained in the Vedas. That is in Karma Kanda part of the Vedas, that is Purva Mimamsa. And here people, they are interested to take the instructions from the Veda and they want to fulfill their desires. Suppose they want to go to heavenly planet, they know the process. They take the process from the Vedas, they follow it, and they elevate it to the higher planets. And they want to fulfill their desires, material desires. If someone wants to become a rich man, businessman, they want to success in their business, education. So the material problems, to mitigate that problems, they adopt the process instructions from the Vedas and they fulfill their desires. And because of these processes, they get some pious activities also. So Janma, Aiswarya, so like this, education, So taking birth in a good family and rich family. So these are all results of the Vedas. And here Prabhupada also saying that the Uttaramimamsa, the next part of Vedas, it is giving the conclusion of the Vedas, Vedanta. So that is knowing about the Lord, objective of the Veda is given in the Uttaramimamsa. So all the Upanishads are they come under Uttaramimamsa. All Upanishads, they proclaim the objective of reading Vedas, that is knowing the absolute truth. And here there are two types of vadis also explained by Prabhupada in this purport. So Vedavada, these are the persons, they enjoy reading Vedic scriptures, but they don't understand what is the real purpose of Vedas, what is the object of Vedas. And they just read the Vedas for fulfilling their desires. Just like they have taken so many instructions how to go to Brahmaloka, how to go to different demigods, planets, Surya, Sun, like that. They want to become Brahma also. So these are the sacrifices. They perform sacrifices, austerities to go to heavenly places. And by doing that, they get some pious activities. So because of that pious activities, they take a birth in a good families and with good opulences like that. Here, there is ritualistic activities actually performed in this Karmakanda section. So like the Prabhupada explained, Chaturmasa Vratam. So they perform very strictly Chaturmasa Vratam. What is the Chaturmasa Vratam? So this is in 4 months. 1 month they are not fasting from the spinach, green vegetables. The next month they are fasting from milk. So the next one fasting from the yogurt. The last month they fasting from the lentils. So especially urud dal. Like that they take a vow and they follow it very sincerely. They do the penances, austerity, and they don't take all these. And they think so. In this way we are pleasing the Lord. They don't know that this is also one of the ritualistic process, and by this we get only piousness, not the devotion. And the Tattvavadis, the other type of Vadis, so they actually understand the objective of Vedas. It's not only giving the benefits. So some austerities, by performing austerities and penances, we get some benefits. Not only that, there is a higher from this. What is that? So knowing about the absolute truth. So here, if you take Vedavadis, they are interested in only reading the scriptures and taking these instructions for their material benefits, material gain, for the sake of following it, not for spiritual advancement. So that is about Vedavadis. Actually, they follow that um, Pravritti Marga. Pravritti Marga means they still have birth, death, old age, and disease cycle, and they are not free from the false ego, not from the desires. The desires continues. The aim of the life is gratifying these senses by following the instructions and all these, by following the austerities, by following the instructions, ritualistic ceremonies. Sometimes people also they do some sinful activities and they go to some scholars to rectify that mistake, to do some atonement, prayachita. So they follow this Veda. From the Vedas, they follow all these instructions how to rectify that mistake, rectify that sinful activities. And also some people like tantrics, they take instruction from the Vedas in a negative way. They also teach people, so you can do this one, you can do these activities, you can become powerful like that. So many people they misleading the Vedas without taking the actual object of it. So when they are in a negative way and positive way, they are not understanding the Vedas properly, they are misleading the Vedas, and they are taking the Vedas for their material benefits. So once their pious activity is finished, Kshine Punya Mutsalokam Visanti. So they come back again, take in these earthly planets, they take birth whenever their pious activity is finished. So these are all gifts because of the pious activity. Austerity is done by Vedas. And the other Tattvavadis actually they want to know the actual reality, absolute truth of the Vedas. They don't want to do it for their sense gratification. They want to know about the absolute truth. These Tattvavadis again they are explained in the first canto, second chapter, 11th verse. Vadanti tatta Tattvavidas Tattam Jnanam Advayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Sabdate. So they perceive the knowledge in three different ways. One is Brahma realization, the other is Paramatma realization, and the other one is Brahman realization. So Bhagavan realization. Sorry. So in these three realizations, so they follow certain instructions and they follow it. They perceive in this way. So the examples are given in various scriptures. Like if you see sun ray, somebody may think this is the sun. Actually, it is not sun. It is coming from somewhere. The source is somewhere. But they assume that this is the sun. So in the same way, so the actual Brahmajyoti is compared with that sun ray. So Brahmajyoti is nothing but, Brahmajyoti realization is nothing but the ray coming from the Lord's body. It's a light emanating from the Lord's body. It makes a big circle around the spiritual world. It is a Brahmajyoti. In the Brahmajyoti, some people, they think this is the actual God. It's a Nirakara. It has only Sat potency. Sat potency, that is only eternity is there. It's not complete. So Brahman realization is not complete. The other Vadis, they think the Paramatma realization is the highest realization. So Paramatma realization is nothing but localized Paramatma. So Bhagavan, he expanded himself as a Vishnu. So Vishnu, the Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu is the living entities of all the, he is the Paramatma of all living entities. So that's why they think he is a localized Paramatma, he is the highest. So that is also not complete because the Paramatma realization, so Paramatma has only two features, Sat and Chit. It has eternity and knowledge, cognizant. So this is also not complete because Bhagavan is with Sat Chit Ananda. He is a Satchidananda Vigraha. So that's why Paramatma realization also incomplete. When they go just forward and the Paramatma realization is explained with the disk, the planet of the sun. So yes, it is coming from the planet of the sun. The sun ray is coming from the planet of the sun, but actually it is not sun. The source is somewhere else. So this is the another realization, Paramatma realization. Somebody in Brahman realization, somebody thinks the sun ray is sun, and the Paramatma realization, they think the planet is sun, and the Bhagavan realization. So the students, they go forward, they think actually this is not sun. So we can see sun somewhere, the source of sun is somewhere else. So they see the actual sun in the sun planet. They confirm the actual sun is coming from this. So we have to understand that absolute truth is the Bhagavan with Sat potency, Chit potency, and Ananda potency, Satchidananda Vigraha. That bliss is coming from the Lord. So he is full opulence, Satchidananda Vigraha. So these are the three tattvas. And I can share, it is also explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila first chapter and third verse. I will share that for you. Just a second. Please give me a second. Can you say it, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna. Can
Yes,
you say it?
Prabhuji. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, anybody would like to read this?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, I am reading.
Yeah.
Jadad Jadadvaitam Brahma Punashyati Tadapasya Tanuva Ya Attantaryami Purusha iti Swang Savibhava Sarasya Purna Ya Iha Bhagavan Sasayam Ayam Na Chaitanyat Krishna Jagati Param Tattam Paramiha. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. So it is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, first chapter and third verse. So translation, Prabhuji, could you continue to read this translation?
What can I read,
Mataji.
Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
What the Upanishads describe as impersonal Brahman is nothing but the effulgence of his body, and the Lord known as the Supersoul is nothing but his localized plenary portion. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, complete in 6 opulences. He is the absolute truth, and no other truth is greater than or equal to him. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. So even Upanishads, they are saying that impersonal Brahman is nothing but effulgence of the Lord. And localized Paramatma is the super soul of the Lord. So we can distinguish in 3 ways, the features of the Lord in 3 ways. Brahmajyoti, Paramatma and Bhagavan. And Bhagavan also is having 6 opulences. As Parasar Muni mentioned that he is having complete 6 opulences. That's why he is a Bhagavan. So the objective of Vedas is to know that Bhagavan with 6 opulences. Could anybody want to share what are the 6 opulences?
Mataji, it is Sanskrit verses like that. Oshorjahi Samagrasya Viryasya Jasasya Sri Sri Gyana Vairagyasya Iti Shammang Itingana. So Shanmag Sitingana. That means 6 opulences. Oshorja means the opulence, and
Yes.
then the power or the all strength, and then all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, all renunciation. These are the 6 qualities of Bhagavan.
Thank you so much. So that's why he is called Bhagavan. So no other, so even we cannot see all these in Brahman realization, we cannot see in Paramatma realization. We can see only in Bhagavan all these 6 appearances. So all the Uttara Mimamsa of the Vedas, they proclaim that so absolute truth. The objective of knowing Veda is knowing about the absolute truth. And even the persons like in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, it is saying that there are 4 type of people we cannot understand the Lord. Who are they? Nama, Diskritana, Muda, Prapadyante, Naradama, Maya, Prahita Jnana, Asrim Bhava, Masritaha. So these type of people, they cannot understand what is Veda and what the actual objective of Veda, because they are grossly foolish, and they are with ignorance, and they are with demonic nature, and whose knowledge is stolen by Maya, and always they do some negative activities. Those people cannot understand. And also Kunti Maharani in the Kunti prayers, the first canto, 8th chapter, 26th verse. Janmeswarya Sruta Sribir Edamana Madapuman Na Eva Arhati Abhidatum Ve Kam Akinchana Gochara. So Kunti Maharani is saying that the people who are exhaust with with these opulences, so those who are born in the rich family, Janma, Aishwarya, with all these facilities, Sruta with the highest education and beauty, rebel. So whenever they exist with these qualities, they can see the Lord. Otherwise, they cannot understand. As long as they are with material engagements, material things, material fruitive activities, they cannot understand the absolute truth. So they have to come out of uh, that opulences and material things. They can understand actually that they can feel the absolute truth. And also in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter also, the Lord says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavam Prapadyate. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. So that soul is very rare. They can understand Lord as it is in a perfect way. So that that soul is very rare. So they are Mahatmas, can understand the absolute truth. And also the Krishna also says that in 10th chapter, 14th, 10th canto, 14th chapter, and 6th verse, he says that whoever free from all the sinful activities, so who is free from the heart, the purify their heart, they can understand the greatness of Lord and they can understand the qualities of the Lord. When they understand the qualities of Lord, he is the wise person. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 8th verse, Ham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarva vartate iti matvam bhajante mam buddha bhava. So those ever who understand he is the cause of all causes, he is the absolute. So that person is wise. And also the Lord Krishna is saying in 18th chapter 55 verse Bhaktanam Abjanati. So the devotion, by the devotional service only we can understand Lord. So Vedas are giving so many things, so many instructions. Apart from realizing the Bhagavan, absolute truth, they are giving so many other information. So it is misleading the people and what to take, what instruction to take. Some may take the instructions to go to heavenly planet. Some may take instructions to get rid of their sinful activities. Some may take to uh, get the success in these material businesses and material activities. So they take different things from the Vedas and they cannot understand absolute truth. The God realization is explained in two ways. One is Dujnayam and the other one is Sujnayam. In the Dujnayam means it is very, very difficult to understand absolute truth. The Bhagavan realization actually it is very difficult to. So some may take Bhagavan as a Brahmajyoti, Nirakara. So Brahmavadis, they with the knowledge they understand that is the highest truth. Some may on meditation take, so the Paramatma is the highest. And Bhagavan realization, actually that is very difficult to understand. Bhagavan realization. So he is a Vigraha, he is a form. So he is with the six opulences. Everything emanates from him. He is the source of everything. So that understanding it is very rarely to get. That's why it is Bhagavan realization is called Dursneyam, very difficult to. But Brahman and Brahmajyoti and Paramatma realization are that is very easy to get. Suznayam by mental speculation. They think it could be like this. So these Vedas are, these Bhagavan means he gives some material opulences. We can pray for him. We can get our desires fulfilled by praying him. So these are some misconceptions and they are misleading all these aspects. So they speculate things and they can understand Brahmajyoti and Paramatma very easily. But Bhagavan realization is very difficult. So these are the things explained in this verse. In this we understand that scriptures, from the scriptures, Vedas are originated from the Lord and he is the compiler, he is the source of all the Vedas. He is giving this knowledge to everyone and he has given that knowledge to Brahma. And two types of Vadis also we discussed, Vedavadis and Tattvavadis. Vedavadis, they are attracted to know the knowledge about Vedas and they take the instructions, they follow the instructions, they perform austerities, ritualistic activities to get the benefit out of it. Actually, they don't understand absolute truth from that part. All these karma kanda, the Purva Mimamsa Vedas explained all these instructions. So these are the activities if you do, you get the higher planets. So they follow the Pravritti Marga. Once their pious activities done, whatever accumulated pious activities, by performing the activities taken from the Vedas, once it all gone, they take birth again. So this marga, this pravritti marga is a path of liberation to the heavenly planets. Once their pious activities done, they come back to the Madhyaloka again. Kshine Punye Madhyalokam Vasanti. And taking birth in the rich families and beauty and the education. So these are all distractions for the advancement of spiritual education. That's why Kunti Maharaj says, when you just from these opulences and all these, you can come to know about the absolute truth. So so knowing about Bhagavan is very difficult. Knowing Bhagavan and Paramatma, sorry, knowing Brahmajyoti and Paramatma, it is very easy to understand only with the mental speculation. And here also in the Bhagavad Gita, the purport says, Imam Pushpadam Vacham. So the people, they take flowery instructions. So they think, attach flowery words of the Vedas. They follow the materialistic activities. They don't take completely what is the objective of Vedas. And we cannot understand by speculations. We cannot understand by our different activities, ritualistic activities and atonement. So we cannot get rid of all these sinful activities. And we can know only by adopting the process of Bhakti Yoga. And in the 6th canto, 4th verse, it is also saying that Nisheda Nirvana Sukhanubhuti. Even though you are getting so many pious activities from the previous birth, so we can get rid of the sins completely, and you will be free from duality, and your heart is purified. So still, the chanting and taking up the devotional service, it is the complete remedy for the um, eradicating the sinful activities. And this is by this only, by the process of chanting, by the process of Navavida Bhakti only, we can understand the absolute truth. We can understand the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Nisheda Nirvana Sukhanubhuti. Even though the laborious activities like austerities, penances, they perform to understand Lord, so they are very laborious. So it takes very hard to perform to know the Lord. Even though they perform the austerities, penances very strictly, following the vows and all these, they come to up to the Paramatma realization only. But when you take up the devotion service, the chanting, so easily you can understand the objective of Veda, that is absolute truth of the Vedas. Instead of taking the quality, instead of taking the instructions from the karma kanda side, so we can take the instructions from the uttara mimamsa, that is from the Upanishads. We can understand what is absolute truth and how to achieve that by devotional service and chanting. So by this I would like to conclude the class. If anything you like to add, comment please.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you
Krishna.
very much for enlightening so many things through this text, especially understanding the Purva Mimamsa and the Uttar Mimamsa, which is very, very important to understand from the Vedic scripture, those who read it, because after all, Purva Mimamsa only gives you the pious activities as you mentioned.
Mm.
We get the pious activities which is full of flowery languages and helps the people to achieve their goal in a very short period of time by through this all the austerities. But Uttamimamsa is the real object of the understanding which gives up to through Upanishads. And one of the Upanishads is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Chaitamritam, which gives us the real picture of understanding the Lord.
Yeah.
Because as this text mentioned, two types of uh, Vedas are there. One is Vedavada and the Tattvada,
Yeah.
which is the real understanding of the Lord. Vedavadas, which really connects, truly connect to this Purva Mimamsa, and Tattva Vedas connects to Uttar Mimamsa.
Uttar Yes.
So it is very important to understand, as you mentioned, understanding the sun rays, sun disk, and the source of the sun is very important. So through this text, this Jadavarat is trying to explain King Rahuguna. Your understanding, you look like an intelligent person, but you are not, because you don't know the object of the life. What is the
Mm.
object of life? Is to understand the Lord. And this
Mm.
is very nicely explained by Srila Prabhupada from
Yeah.
different angle to understand this Vedic scripture is not a scripture only following the um, sacrifices or acquiring the knowledge. The true object of this life is to understand the Lord, who is actually the Lord, who
Yeah.
has created the whole cosmic manifestation and is the source of everything, as Bhagavad Gita 10.8 explains. So, to understand Him, you need to go through the process, which is actually Tattva Veda.
Yeah.
So, by reading all these, by doing all these sacrifices and acquiring knowledge, you get up to the Sat and Chit.
Yes.
But one component you are missing, that is what it is, Ananda.
Ananda.
After doing that, if you don't feel the bliss, so all these are not very useful. So
Useful.
when
Yeah.
you get the Anand feature of the Lord, which is actually Bhagavan,
Yeah.
then only really enjoy the taste of that knowledge, because you know the Lord now. You are
Mm.
connected to the Lord. And
Yeah.
that takes a lot of time. That Bhagavad Gita saying us it takes long, long time to acquire this knowledge. It
Mm.
doesn't come overnight. And that's supported by 2.40, that whatever you do it this life, if you can't finish it, still it remains protected. And the next time when you come back, you start from that point.
Yes. Yes.
So in this knowledge, you are still having that facility to start from the point you leave it. But in this Pravritti mark, which is connected to Purva Mimamsa,
Mm.
that finishes with the finish of the body. So
Mm.
if you understand the difference between the two objects, it is truly important that which way we should follow. We
Yeah.
should follow the path which actually connects the Lord and give us the real knowledge which comes through Tattva Veda. Thank you so much for explaining this with various explanation from Chaitanya Chaitamrita, then Bhagavatam, especially Canto 6, Chapter 4. It's only by the process of devotional service you can connect to the Lord. All other processes explained so far, they
Yeah.
are up to the Purva Mimamsa or up to the Paramatma stage. And to
Yes.
understand the Bhagavan realization, you need to get connected to the Lord
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
chanting only or by following the nine processes of
Devotion.
devotional service. And that is the ultimate goal of life. Thank
Yeah.
you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the elaboration. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam. Thank you very much for the very nice class explaining all the aspects of this verse from various angles. And the one thing is very important here, the Jaravat is trying to make is that for any human being to make the difference between the body and the soul, which is the basic knowledge, at the same time, one has to find out that is the first thing, and that comes when it comes to that. Next step is to find our relationship with the Lord, from whom everything from whom you have come, and our eternal relationship with the Lord, and which is to serve the Lord. So we should not misuse our time thinking the human life for enhancing our enjoyment and this body for the body, and move a step further, considering what is our real shurup as a servant of the Lord, and then serve the Lord. That is what Jarabata is trying to tell King Rahuguna in these things, and you have very nicely explained from various angles and also various conceptions on this thing to make it clear. And thank you for that, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Okay, if no one is there, so we can conclude the class.
If no one is there, Mataji, thank you very much for your class. Vancha kalpotarubhishya
Titanam Pavunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Hidre Savitri Mataji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, all glories to assembled. Thank you very much, Mataji, for your very nice class. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Yeah.